practically everyone's here, the whole town. What they see before them is a dead body, a man floating in the air, a wizard who they weren't quite sure what he did to this man, but it doesn't look too promising, even though he has killed him.
It's not him! It's not him! It's a child shouts.
So, yes, they're basically, they think you are all crazed murderers. I don't think there's probably much convincing them. I guess maybe you could try if you wanted to. I don't know what you'd say, but they've now got like flames. The one guy steps forward. He's like, murderers! Murderers! Get them! Hey, there's more people approaching you. I'm terrified. I've curled up in a ball. Yes. So, I'm going to say the the stun has worn off by now. You've fallen to the floor in a hump.
I fall to the floor whilst holding my sword. Evidently cut this 23 stone, 6 foot weight just falling down, holding a sword. I assume he cuts right through the rest of the man. Since he was in his collar, he wouldn't just cut his arm off, he'd like cut all the way through the side of his body, like through his nipple and stuff.
Well, it's not a very good scene to see.
Out through his leg.
I don't think the healing can do much at this point. I think he's officially dead.
This is flailing, and because of Luke's healing, the top of his like arm and the top of his shoulder has been healed, so his arm's still attached. this whole part of his body's still attached because of his arm, but I don't know if you can imagine the scene. But his whole like through his nipple, through his stomach, through his leg has all been sliced off, so he's got like half a foot left.
Okay. Yeah, so that's basically what happened. Around you, I mean, the gate is the only place that's unguarded at the moment. Perhaps you could start running, or do you want to convince them, attempt to convince them? I mean, it's up to you. I mean, Strong Bob's still getting up. I mean, he's covered in blood now.
He's out to loot the guard.
So, despite the scene before him, you're now losing him. You managed to find, he himself has a small blade, not as magnificent as your one. He doesn't have much possessions on him. I mean, he's on the job. He doesn't carry much with him. So, what are your two plans? What are you going to do? I think this is the thing bonding you together. The fact that you're both wanted criminals for the same act. Well, two of them are innocent, but
to put this guy out of his misery, because half of his body was sliced in half, obviously writhing on the floor. I'm just going to cut his head off after looting him and then stand up.
Okay. Well, whilst you do this,
cleaving motion, just holding the gun by his hair and just cutting his head off.
Many of the village or townsfolk.
No, and then he's going to hold it up and like wave it to the town.
I mean, they have time to react to this. They all run towards you, foolishly. I mean, they're running along. One of them dives onto your back, trying to punch you. There's another one. They're all trying to pin you down. You're probably you've got a head in your hand, a sword in the other.
Okay. Can I describe what I want him to do? Okay, well, he swings the head round by his hair and smashes it against someone's face. He then jumps backwards to land on his back, crushing the person beneath him, and does a rolling spring to do a backflip from his back and then land back on his feet. Is this successful?
Okay, the rest of the village are pretty traumatized by this. Not many people are brave enough to carry on the battle against this foe. I'd like to know how you're reacting to this, Luke. It's a pretty grim scene.
I find the person, the leader of the village, and explain myself.
Okay, well, there is one leader in the group still. He's wide-eyed, jaw dropped by what he's seen before him. He's not really up to much negotiation. Okay, so you approach him. What do you say? What's your first? How do you try and explain yourself?
I say it wasn't me.
Okay, well, I'll roll for that. You got a beat 10. So we'll
Intelligence
say
10.
It doesn't quite work, because I don't imagine someone saying that would. I mean, perhaps if you'd done it if you went, it wasn't me. But yeah.
But I saw you with a fat man. It wasn't me. But I saw him with his whip out. Okay. not that kind of whip.
Yes. So he doesn't believe you. It snaps him out of his shock, and he's accusing you as well. Murderer! I imagine you would want to get out there. There's a few people fleeing to get more help. Yeah. There's a lot more people coming along. It's probably not wise to stay there. I know Strongbhluwbx pretty strong, but probably won't be able to take on the whole
horde.
Yeah.
Pitchforks.
I would recommend. I'll go back into my character. Right. I think we better get out of here. There's enough ale for today. I think we should leave this town. Yeah, that's my advice. Do as you wish.
Well, this is exactly what happened the last time I went to a tavern without ale.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's another town with plenty of ale. Which I really think we should get out of here.
Are there still people fighting? Like, is everyone ran away from him, or are there still people around them?
Most people have run. There's a few people watching in shock. Some trying to keep an eye on you, but they don't dare attack at the moment.
You are all cowards! He shouts, trying to provoke them. I hate cowards! He then reaches for his whip. And he tries to lash all of them across their necks with his snake-tongued whip with like metal spikes at the end. He wants to slash all of them across their necks in like some sort of swinging, waving motion.
Okay, well, you managed to hit a few. Now slap them across the face, knocking one that got the most impact was knocked over. Like crushing a small child. Yeah, the rest sort of they reacted quick enough, sort of stepping out of the way. It did cause quite a few more. There's about to run away. There's about 2 or 3 still there, most in tears.
Okay, Strongbhluwbx's grown bored of fighting with cowards, so he's ready to leave. Oh, actually, he's just remembered that there's supposed to be ale in the farm. So he will start walking towards the house.
So you're heading towards the fire in the distance.
Yeah. Just ignoring all the pandemonium he's just caused around him.
Okay, so you're heading towards the farm. Wizard?
Walks away.
Are you going to go with him? Or where are you walking to?
The next town.
Okay, well, let's say you're heading in one direction from the gate. It's going to be a long walk. It's basically just forestry type routes. And you've got a little way to walk towards the fire, but it's getting close. You're starting to see part of a burning house and a bit of crops that are on flames. You haven't seen anyone yet. Perhaps these attackers have fled.
What does the cat do?
Sure, I'm not sure who he'd go with. I think he'd probably stick with your character, to be honest.
Yeah, so do I. But don't blame him.
So I'm still riding on your hat at the moment. watching. I'm looking back, watching Strong Gbhluwbx, like walking along in the distance. We're getting further and further apart.
Oh.
Yeah.
How close is he to the flaming house?
You're pretty close now. You basically you see it. It's a large building, wooden, so it's not lasting too long. You could perhaps venture inside, perhaps try and find ale there, or there's more fields, all on flames.
He goes up to the door and he doesn't even try the door. He just kicks it down.
Okay, well that unleashes a lot more flames from inside the building. It's smoke floods out.
Oh.
It's pretty dangerous in there. You could attempt to go in, but you can hear sort of muttering from the other side of the house, like between the flames, like the rustling of the smoke. You can make out some talking.
Oh, he walks forward to go towards the sound, ignoring the flames and the smoke, ignoring the fire.
Okay, well, as you venture inside, we'll see what the wizard and the cat are doing for now. What happens is you start to hear whispers as well, quite a lot more. It's getting late at night now, and it's quite difficult to see. I've got my cat eyes, so I can see a bit better, and I start to notice shadows around us, but I shrug it off, thinking it's nothing. Yeah, so you can hear whispers. How do you react to this? Do you just keep walking?
Keep walking, but be ready.
Okay. Well, I'll head back to the flames. You're further inside. Is that what you meant? Did you mean that you headed inside the flames?
Yeah. Inside the flame.
Okay. You reach sort of practically everything's destroyed. You can't see anything, the signs of like ale or anything to be that matter. You see a burnt corpse on the floor.
The corpse still on fire.
Yeah, it's quite on fire still. Yeah. And
he's deciding whether we should loot it or not. He goes to loot it. So he gets out his whip and he keeps beating. No, he gets out his kapesh and he keeps slamming, smashing, slicing the corpse until a fire goes out. This is how his intelligence has brought him to this conclusion. If he keeps hitting the corpse, the fire will go.
Okay, well, you keep getting a considerable amount of burns as this happens. The fire around you seems to be getting more and more intense. The doorway is now blocked by more flames. You're pretty much trapped there. Yeah, there doesn't really look like much signs of escape. And on that moment, you feel a very large bang on the head, and
bang on the head, 6 foot up in the air.
Yeah, you don't know what it was, but you collapsed on top of this burning corpse, unconscious.
Is he unconscious or is he still awake?
No, you're unconscious now.
Oh.
You might be a bit groggy. You might, if you want to describe your moments before you walk out.
He moves his hands to start looting the corpse.
You don't have much time before to actually see anything.
There's a massive. When he falls over.
Okay.
Oh. And he does a massive. And then he just goes unconscious.
You hear a mysterious voice going like, "We have him," before you finally pass out. Yes, so we'll catch up with you a bit later. We'll just sort out. So Luke, you now start spotting more and more shadows, like everywhere. Everywhere you look, you see in the distance some sort of figure. You're pretty far from the town. It's clear which way you went. You're not lost, but it seems quite dangerous now. The whispers are getting quite loud. You can't quite make out what they're saying, but yeah, it sounds like they're getting closer.